Well, hello everybody. This is part 2 of videos here for Monday, May 16th. And the development this last week in the real estate news world is the closing of the company now known as Rex Homes. You may remember hearing advertising and seeing social media posts about this company, Rex Homes. They were a disruptor. What they were going to do is come in and just completely change the face of real estate. They were going to take the agent out of the equation, get rid of them, and just use algorithms to connect buyers and sellers together, make the transaction happen, and everybody would be happy, and you'd keep all that money in your pocket. Did I mention they just closed the doors? Well, I am absolutely an advocate for doing things differently. I do that in my real estate. I'm a little different. The fact that I happen to like homes with large garages that sometimes have some really cool cars in them. All right? But what I don't do is I don't go around pissing off everybody around me. I don't threaten lawsuits saying, well, if you don't work with me, I'm going to sue you. And I did sue you. And we want to have the right to give away money wherever we want. We're going to violate state laws about sharing agent compensation because those are stupid laws. We don't want to follow them. So we're going to sue you at a national level and a regional level and a local level. Let's just say that Rex did not make a lot of friends. You know, when you go to a social party, you can walk in, you get to know people, introduce them, or you can walk in and be that jerk who just pushes everybody out of the way and says, hey, I'm here, you should talk to me. Well, whatever your social or societal interpretation of them, last week Rex Homes closed. Well, why is this? Well, there's going to be a lot of analysis coming out on it, but the fact is they came in, they hit the market with all their marketing pieces saying you were able to fire your agent, you would retain a professional agent on their side, you could sell your house, and you didn't have to pay a buyer's agent. And therefore, they were going to find these computerized algorithms to find your buyers, because buyers were going to find your home. If you listed with Rex, buyers were going to find your home on Zillow, Trulia, Facebook, all these social media. They were not going to participate in our regional multiple listing service, RMLS, which by its core is an agreement for agents to share information. They agree to share listings. So if we have a listing, we give other agents the opportunity to sell it so that both a buyer and a seller has their own representation, protecting as a fiduciary interest, a fiduciary duty to the highest and best interest of our client, separate buyer and seller. Rex Home basically said, nah, we're going to do away with that. Buyers are smart. They can figure it out. Sellers, work with us because we're cheap. Well, that may have been how it was 15, 20, 30 years ago when buyer's agents didn't represent buyers and the concept of a buyer's agent was new. What we found is a lot of buyers were taken advantage of, they didn't have protection, and they simply got screwed. So thus the rise of the buyer's agent. Now, of course, for someone to serve as a fiduciary, you have to find a way to be paid, because we all deserve to be compensated when we work. If we work on behalf of someone, we expect to get paid. It's a reasonable part of life and business. If I'm going to go work for a company, I expect to be paid for my work. If I'm working for myself, I'm going to find a way to pay myself. Now, in the real estate world, typically in compensation or commissions, that commission that is charged by a seller's agent to a seller actually has two parts. Part of that is for the seller's agent's time. The other portion is for the buyer's agent's time. The seller pays that combined commission that is shared between the seller's agent and the buyer's agent. Now, why is this? Well, otherwise, the alternative, as Rex and others have tried, is they say, well, buyers can pay their own agent. Well, that's fine if a buyer's walking around with that briefcase of cash. Unfortunately, most buyers don't. They're trying to get into homes and put as much money down, which doesn't leave cash in their pocket. They can't add that into the mortgage and finance it, because that's actually what we do now circuitously through an existing commission. But you can't add that in. So when a company like Rex just comes in and says, oh, well, you will list your house with us and you don't have to pay a buyer's agent, and then all of a sudden the buyer's agents aren't there coming to look at the Rex listing, and the buyers are writing offers but don't have an agent, and then everybody's unhappy, the transaction falls apart, lawsuits start to happen, and then Rex starts suing everybody else because those agents who've been getting burned don't want to work with Rex because Rex is doing something different And while I recognize their right to do something different, unfortunately, they're doing it to the detriment of others, simply short-sighted. We're just going to not pay for a buyer's agent and let them figure it out. While this may be a model in the future, and I would not be opposed to finding some alternative financing method for a buyer's agent, the fact is, in the current market, in our foreseeable future, that's not working. And well, they gave it a try. They were a little nasty with their marketing. I got to tell you, the pieces that I saw were just flat out nasty, disingenuous, insulting to agents, and what we've had and how different they were going to be, well, they closed the doors. So that's a summary. I'll have more later. I'm trying not to be critical of another brokerage, but since they weren't a member of the National Association of Realtors because they chose not to be, I'm trying real hard to be polite towards them, but there were a lot of agents who had a lot of negative feelings. Me, I'm happy to go on and go sell homes with nice big garages that have some really cool cars in them and work and buy and sell with my clients. We just get along so well. Because at the end of the day, we want you to have a fantastic experience buying your dream home or dream garage, because I want you to tell me what you're going to put in it. Have a wonderful week. See you next week for another video.